In this issue of Elements of Style, we feature creations of timeless beauty and superlative craftsmanship. Blason Jewelry is the newest collaboration between Louis Vuitton and Pharrell Williams.
Jewelry, to me, is like a fragrance. It is meant to accent your personality and not what you're wearing or who you think you are.
Fashion progeny Delfina Delettrez is crafting whimsical statements. Plus, meet her dad, who started it all. Ivanka Trump gives us an inside look at her new collection.
I take a lot of my inspiration from an old glamorous Hollywood and try and revisit that with a little bit of youthful femininity.
We visit the atelier of Kaufmann de Suisse and meet the creator of the dramatic adornments that complete Alexander McQueen's dark visions.
A lot of my work it's a balance between beauty and dark and good and bad.
But first, learn the power of pins from former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. The Museum of Arts and Design in New York held the first ever exhibition celebrating former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright's personal brooch collection entitled Read My Pins, coinciding with the launch of her book.
I must say the pins look fabulous all here instead of in my plastic bags at home.
Albright's discovery of the soft power of pins had a notorious beginning.
What happened was Saddam Hussein had called me a serpent when I was ambassador at the United Nations, and I had a snake pin, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to wear it. I then decided that I would go out. I bought a lot of costume jewelry, and when people were asking me what we were going to do on a particular day, I said, read my pins. And it was after the first President Bush had said, read my lips. A great day was when I wore a sun, or flowers, or balloons. I love butterflies, and so they would signal a great day. Bad day was when I wore spiders or bees or some kind of bug.
We think there's a wonderful many levels of stories embedded in these pins that she wore in so many different diplomatic situations. Then there are specific brooches that contain, for example, a piece of the Berlin Wall or the breaking of the glass ceiling that are, quite obvious symbols of various moments in time.
The power of it is that it sends messages and is an icebreaker in many ways, because people want to know why I'm wearing a certain pin, and it opens up the conversation. I have to say, it's kind of put a little humor into some very serious work. There are pins that I think have a different kind of significance, and the one that I close the book with is what I call my Katrina pin. One that is really significant to me is one that my youngest daughter, Katie, gave to me. And when people say, where'd you get it? I say, my daughter made it for me. And they say, well, how old is she? And as she has gotten up into age, I say 35 or 40. And she says, Mom, you got to tell him I made it when I was 5. I was giving a speech somewhere, actually in Las Vegas, and the organizer of the speech said, so what pin are you wearing tonight? And I said, I'm actually not. I'm going to wear a necklace. And she said, that's impossible. It's part of the package. You have to wear a pin. So I went down. I had to buy a pin. So I'm expected to wear one, and then it's expected to have a story.
One day Mark said to him, why don't you do jewelry? And then he looked at me and said, why don't you work with him? I said, yeah, great, fantastic, et voilà.
And that was how Marc Jacobs' chic publicist Camille Miseli and music producer / eyewear designer Pharrell Williams became a designing duo for the house of Louis Vuitton.
It was truly a collaborative effort. I brought my sketches, she brought sketches.
It was really a ping-pong game, you know?
Yeah.
Was very natural, which is kind of, I think that's how the success comes out, when something is so natural and so instinctive,
At a chic party during the haute couture shows, the duo launched the collection called Blason, which translates to coat of arms.
You know, I've always been fascinated with secret societies and Freemasonry, and actually, while that is the main umbrella of it all, you know, there's also ethnic influence, there's also Art Deco influence, and basically what it's trying to say is that, like, Vuitton has the heart of the ethnic, you know, jewelry. The brand does have the sophistication of, you know, the Art Deco era, and it does, you know, have like this huge sense of heraldry and monarchical, aristocratic hold and grasp over the fashion world. You know what I mean? And if it seems like we're obsessed with symbolism, we totally are. And if there's a hidden message in it, it's just basically that, like, you know, the brand is, I mean, this jewelry is very poetic for how we see the brand. Jewelry is not meant to be worn to make somebody look great. Jewelry, to me, is like a fragrance. You know, it is meant to accent your personality and not what you're wearing or who you think you are. You understand? Or how much money you have. You know a gentleman by his cufflinks. Jewelry is the same way. When she wears it the right way, it doesn't say how much money she has in her pocket. It says something about who she is on the inside.
I have the angel, which was one of the first prototypes, so don't look at it too close because it has a lot of defects. And then I've got the crown ring here, and I've got the earrings. I'm a bit of a Christmas tree today. I'm very happy because, you know, I have some friends of mine who just called me and saw the angel and they already want to buy it. So that's probably the best result, is when someone goes to the store and buy the things and wear it.
Ivanka Trump was born into fashion. The daughter of real estate magnate Donald Trump and his first wife, Ivana, a former model, Ivanka also gave modeling a try as a teenager. Though today she is Vice President of Real Estate Development and Acquisitions for the Trump Organization. She has recently launched her own jewelry collection and opened a boutique on Madison Avenue in New York City.
I love these. I wear, all of these pieces. I'm very involved. There's not a piece in the store that I haven't collaborated on in some fashion. I take a lot of my inspiration from sort of an old glamorous Hollywood and try and revisit that with a little bit of youthful femininity. I also have a lot of deco influence, which largely stemmed from my appreciation and love of that generation's architecture and has translated itself into my pieces. This is a very fun rock crystal and diamond necklace, and it hangs so beautifully on the neck. I'm actually wearing this on the cover of Town & Country. The clasp is our really signature oval. So this is actually the clasp of the necklace and opens from here. And I found this to be just a really stunning, perfect summer piece. Very Palm Beach. And we have then the coral enamel. Corals on the back of all of our pieces are somehow incorporated into the design as it's our signature color. This is an amazingly fun cocktail ring. It is a rock crystal and then with, sort of a beautiful diamond oval signature setting on the sides. So people love these, and this is another version of it. Now we have these in diamonds as well, but those would be a little more than a casual cocktail ring. And these are some stunning door knockers. I love earrings that hang and that have sort of a motion to them. So even something like this that's a little bit more solid, they feel light and they move with you. So I wear these quite frequently. I love what I do. If I didn't love one aspect of my job, I likely wouldn't be very good at it. So I really try to focus on projects that inspire me and forego the rest a little bit. You bring your best energy to those things that you find compelling.
Delfina Delettrez boasts an enviable pedigree. Her mother Sylvia created the Fendi baguette, and her grandmother is Carla Fendi. Delfina launched her third jewelry collection at the Palais Royal in Paris.
This is a collaboration that I did with Alain Micli. Like this one, it's a sunglass with earrings. This is the part of animals with enamel, so you can find frogs, coccinelles. This is the new collection, let's say. The hands, I call it skeleton. It's all articulated so you can move. It's made of gold, yellow gold. And it's all sapphires from the orange to the yellow. It's comfortable, yes, and it's much more beautiful to see the object moving. Seems like, you know, the flowers of the sea that open and close. I started 2 years ago because my dad is a jeweler. He has a laboratory in Rome. So by going there, actually, when I finished the school, I didn't know really what to do. And then I found my way. It's different from the others. It's young, it's fresh maybe, because I use many different materials like wood, like bones, marble, ceramics, not just gold, diamonds, and sapphires. It's a mix of many, many materials. The rings that are called delirium, it's a part of the delirium collection because, like the others, they move. I always had fascination for the skulls. I have a big collection of skulls at home. My skulls, they smile, they're not sad, they're mixed with strong colors, so now it's a way really to laugh about it, maybe. All my family, all the women of my family work and has their own work.
Barely out of her teens, the fashion progeny enjoys the process of making jewelry as much as she delights in wearing the results.
From one thing comes another thing. It's like an evolution for me. It's a long process, but beautiful and fun process. I wanted to do 3 types of collections. So the one with the silver and enamel, the medium one, this one, the skulls that move, and then a big, important collection with details that are unusual to the classic jewelry. Like the frog that I did in silver enamel, I redid it in white gold and diamonds. I take everything with a lot of irony. You say irony?
Delfina's inspiration for jewelry design started in her father's shop. In this fashion flashback from 1989, we visit Bernardo Delettrez's atelier in Rome. His inspiration, in turn, was derived from the Art Deco movement of the 1920s.
I began to design jewelry for other jewelers. I mean, a wholesale dealer, and it was 10 years ago. My online began 3 years ago only. Then for 7 years I designed for the others, and it was nice to do, but sure, it was not a pleasure just like it is now to design my online. My way to design is maybe a little different than the regular way, because I don't design a jewel and after I put the stone. I take a stone and I design the jewel around. If it has to be a necklace, it will be a necklace. If it's a bracelet, it will be a bracelet. I don't have a line, a definite line. I design jewels, that's it. If at the end it's a full line, it's perfect. If it's not, I miss something. What inspired me? Deco, definitely deco. I like it very much. I'm sure that was the most important period for all the world. Definitely because everything changed. At that moment, I think for arts, for the way of life, for the way of thinking of everybody, I think everything was stopped for 2,000 years. I'm trying to take back the deco design and to adapt to something more modern. When I design, by example, a bracelet for a client, and when she wears it, she would like to feel just she had that bracelet for all the life. That would be the feeling I would like for all clients. This is a jewel which is perfect for somebody.
Paris's most fashionable celebrated one of their own, Christian Dior fine jewelry designer Victoire de Castellane.
Well, here you can find all my universe. So with my inspiration, well, you have also my little silhouettes presenting all the jewelry and some tiroirs. And you can see all the movies that I like since I was 4, songs, musical comedies, movie stars. You know, it's like bubbles. The idea was my head like bubbles, so voilà. I love real jewelry looking for like fake jewelry. And also, I like to have fun when I'm creating and also to mix fun and poetic. I learned that at the beginning my taste didn't change. I thought that it's going to be evaluating, but no. So it's a little strange. But it's, well, I'm happy because I have no regret.
Master jeweler and gemologist Emile Kaufmann has been in the jewelry business for over 55 years, building his eponymous Kaufmann de Suisse brand with the help of daughter Monica and son Charles. This luxury business with a Tony Madison Avenue address had humble beginnings.
I grew up in an environment where my father had a wood workshop, and so I liked to do things. But what really was the key, we had in our school, and the guidance counselor came to us to advise us about profession. You took a book, asked me about 20 questions, I said yes to everything. He patted on my shoulder, said, "You're the perfect goldsmith." Simple as that.
After intensive training and apprenticing in Switzerland, Kaufmann brought his skilled hands and visionary mind to America.
Inspiration can be anything. I can sit in the garden and see clouds and get inspired to make a mountain. I can drive to work and suddenly have a flick of a thought in my mind, the things, and then when I come to the shop and sketch something.
After the make a model and first assembling for testing the pieces, nice pieces, adjusting, repair, and after this testing, I make a gold, real pieces, real pieces, good polishing, good soldering, good finishing, and good works.
From colorful, whimsical pieces to extravagant, multi-million-dollar creations, each exquisite Kaufmann de Suisse design is a company original.
All of our jewelry pieces are handcrafted in-house, so we have a quick turnaround, we can attest to the quality, and we can deliver in a way that a lot of others can't. People want jewelry they can wear every day that's versatile, that goes from day into night very easily. They want funky things, layering things. So we sell a lot of our Cascade collection as well as our Flowing Lines collection.
My wife likes a Lily of the Valley necklace for our 50th wedding anniversary. So I made a sketch, went to Patrick and said, here we have to make something like that. Do we make it yellow and white or what is it, and so on. So while we made it mainly yellow, now my wife likes it in white. But anyway, I think she should get it by Christmas.
But until she's satisfied, it might take months.
With over a half a century's worth of returning customers, Kaufmann de Suisse aims to please their high-end clients.
The number one thing is you have a deal with a beautiful product, with beautiful gemstones and all that. The other thing is beautiful design. It's fascinating, and the last thing is it always participate in happy moments of customers' lives. And when the lady receives something, it's an even happier moment.
A lot of my work, in my work and even when I work with McQueen, it's a balance between beauty and dark and good and bad. It's always about a balance.
Jeweler Sean Lean is responsible for creating the dramatic showpieces that usually punctuate Alexander McQueen's chillingly beautiful presentations. Like McQueen, Lean's work is steeped in tradition and craft.
I was really lucky. I was in between two great masters, and they taught me everything. Everything one could want to know about goldsmithing. And I worked with them for 13 years, and I kind of begun to really feel a hunger for myself to design some of my own pieces. So luckily, then I met Alexander McQueen. He respected where I came from, because I was brought up traditionally in the traditional side of the industry, like he was in Savile Row. And then he asked me to start producing jewelry for his catwalk shows. The biggest piece of jewelry I'd ever made was a tiara. So he wanted me to make bigger pieces than that. So it was quite scary and daunting for me at the time, but very intriguing. He came and said, "You know the necklace you made for Bjork?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I want a full body one." Now, I was a goldsmith, so I had to self-teach myself silversmithing to meet the demands of big courses. So it's quite exciting. I had to work with different materials, find out different ways of working with it, soldering it, joining it.
Lean and his small team handcraft everything in their studio, from the darkly elegant work for his own collections to the many bespoke pieces he has made for McQueen over nearly 15 years of collaboration.
We created these pieces, and the brief that I got for these was pagan, the feeling of paganism. So I took what they worship, the moon, the stars, the sun, and created the moon and the star. And then we set it with blue topaz, and it's all been set in a real traditional way. It's all pavé set, claw set, all done by hand. So it's like a small fine piece of jewelry, but I've taken it up a different level in size. And then the moon, yeah, that's just stunning. So this is worn, so the girl's head, it frames her face. It's really quite beautiful. It pierces the neck, goes through the neck, but it was about framing her face within the moon, but it still is quite strong as well. You've got that twist. These two pieces that I did for the show it's about the Highlands, it's about birds, it's about life, and it's about death. So basically, I came up with doing the eagle's skull, and we have these beautiful black feathers, and we set the stones. So it's really macabre, and it's quite dark. And then on the other side, then we created this piece, which was used at the beginning of the show. So this was used at the beginning of the show, and this was used at the end. Life and death. We work really well together. He likes to push the boundaries in fashion, and I like to push the boundaries in jewelry. I like to create jewelry that provokes people's minds about what jewelry says and where it should be worn and how it should be worn. And so we're quite a team to be reckoned with, I would have thought.